Good morning students and welcome you again to the online class of Montbretia School, and I'm here to take the class of English Literature Standard 7. Today I'll teach one new chapter, that is chapter 2, The Master Artist by Carol Moore. So everyone take out your book and get ready with the book. So your chapter 2 is The Master Artist, as you can see. Okay, I'll read the chapter and then I'll explain you, so it will become easy for you to understand also. Monsieur Std-7 had been a master artist of his day, and in 1392 was ready to retire when, in the month of May, Giuliano Batroli, a rich Italian patron, sent for him. On his arrival, Batroli said, "I'd like a portrait of myself on the wall of my dining hall, where everyone can see it. Could you paint it? The wall is 20 feet tall." Now, Monsieur, this is a French name, French word which means Mr. So, throughout the story, I'll use the word Mr. only. He is a famous artist, and Giuliano Batroli is a rich Italian. Okay, so he loves paintings and everything. So one day he called this artist, Std-7, and he wanted him to make a portrait for himself. So he asked him to do a portrait for him. Monsieur l'Abbé looked thoughtful for a moment and then shook his head. "I'm sorry, but I don't think so. I'm ready to retire, so I'm not available for hire." However, seeing the disappointment in Signor. Now, Signor is also an Italian word which means Mr. Batroli's eyes, he continued, "Well, there's a possibility if you think you can allow me to use my abilities to the fullest. If you let me find out how far I can go as an artist. Not for money, mind you, but for food and a bed instead. You need not even pose because my memory is excellent. Already I can see your portrait in my mind. But I insist, Mr. Batroli, that while I work, your portrait must remain hidden even from you." So when he said that, when Batroli told the artist that he wants him to do a portrait for him, he at once said no. Why? Because he is about to retire, and that is why he will not continue to do any kind of work. But so Mr. Batroli was very disappointed with his words. And when he saw that he was disappointed, so he agreed to do the painting for Mr. Batroli. But there was a condition. He put one condition, that when he will do the painting or when he will do his portrait, he should not interfere in his work. That means he will not going to see the portrait unless and until he finished the portrait fully. "How strange," thought the patron. Here patron is Batroli. Why it is strange for him? Because he said that he will not allow him to see the portrait unless he finished the portrait. But he also thought about how highly the artist had been recommended. "Of course," he said, "anything you wish, but I insist at least upon paying you something for your effort. Let's draw up a contract." So Mr. Batroli was very thoughtful. He thought that how strange it is that he will not allow him also to see his portrait. But then he agreed. Why? Because he knew that he was a very famous artist, and that is why he wanted him to do his portrait. So he said that, "Okay, I will not interfere in your work, but definitely I want to pay you something for your effort." What was the effort here? The effort is that he will going to do the portrait of Mr. Batroli. So I hope the 3 paragraph is clear. Okay. Now a glint came to Monsieur l'Abbé's eyes as he gazed upon that 20-foot tall wall and thought of all that space. Such a wonderful space to give his imagination wings. Now, where he has to do the portrait? He has to do the portrait on the wall of his dining hall. And the wall is of 20 feet tall. So when the artist saw the wall of 20 feet, he became very happy. His eyes were opened. Why? Because he could use his imagination. He could use his own way to do the portrait on the wall. Because unknown to Mr. Barcholi or indeed anyone else, for all of his career of 45 years, Mr. Labe had launched to paint in his own way. So in the career of his 45 years, whatever painting he did, he couldn't do it on his own wish. He did it on the wish of others. And here he will going to use his own imagination. He is going to use his own creation on the wall. So he became very happy. And what way was that? Certainly not the popular styles of the time. No, Mr. Single Abe had hungered to break free of restraints, but the guilt, his craft and livelihood would never have allowed it. So he followed their rules, although he was never proud of it. So throughout the career of 45 years, he used to do the work, whatever work he was asked to do it. So he followed their rules, although he was never proud of it. So he did it, but he was not happy with the work he did. Of course, he didn't reveal this to Mr. Bartoli, but he never said that whatever he worked through this 45 years, he couldn't do it according to his wish. But here, definitely, whatever work he got from Mr. Bartoli, here he will going to use his own creations. So he became very happy. I hope you have understood till here, till para 4. Next, I'll continue in my next video. Till then, you read the chapter and take care. Thank you.